Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to Full Time Devils. I am Adam McKola, a little bit bunged up, a little bit ill. That's why I'm sat on my sofa, and that's why I've been sat here watching the Manchester derby. But don't you worry, because we have got Fancams coming your way. We've got Cal and the guys out there at the Etihad getting some Fancams that are going to be filled with mixed emotions. I've got to say, United won but lost. United won but lost. We won the game 1-0, something that many of us didn't expect. I thought we were going to get absolutely spanked. We won the game, kept the clean sheet at the Etihad, ladies and gentlemen. So we won the game, kept the clean sheet, but we still go out, and ultimately Manchester United lost that game at the Old Trafford leg. That's where we lost the game. We lost the game in that Old Trafford leg. Playing that awful football, persisting with trying to play out from the back when it clearly wasn't working. That was where we lost the game. But when we talk about today, when we talk about the 90 minutes that we had in front of us, Ollie's beaten Pep at the Etihad yet again. And it was a very good team performance from the boys, I've got to say. There was a number of performances I was disappointed with. But you've got to say, on the whole, from the whole team, it was a positive performance. When you win at the Etihad, that's not going to be easy. Now, we had a little bit of luck. A few offside decisions which were correct. A few fantastic saves from David De Gea, who for me was the man of the match. Not far behind the guy who eventually got sent off in the second half, Nemanja Matic, who I thought was excellent, alongside the likes of Harry Maguire. And Victor Lindelof didn't do too badly at the back. But when you look at that, it just makes you look back at that Old Trafford game and think, if only we could have performed a little bit better at Old Trafford. Even if we could have kept it down to 2-1, we would have been going to a penalty shootout now. But we didn't, and that's where we lost the game, in that Old Trafford leg. Today, there were parts where we could have done better. We could have done better with the ball. We could have done better with some of our opportunities in the final third. We didn't create enough for Anthony Martial. But part of the reason why I was disappointed with his performance today was when the ball did come into him with his back to goal, he didn't let it stick. And then far off, too often, he'd be found outside the box. Now, I know that's partly down to frustration and him not getting the service. The ball's not coming into the box, so he's thinking, alright, I'm going to go have a little mooch and try and get out of here. But there are times where we were working the ball out wide, into positions where maybe if we can beat the fullback, we can get a ball into the box. But Martial was drifting outside the box, looking for the short one. And it didn't give us that option in the centre positions now. That obviously shows that you miss Rashford. Martial misses him and United miss him as that other alternative. Because when Martial goes out wide, Rashford will drift in the middle. And Martial has to realise that when Rashford's not there, he's the main number 9. I have to be in the middle. And that's something that he needs to pick up. That hunger and that desire and that greed to score goals, rather than get on the ball. Now, if he's in the box every single time and the ball's not coming to him, and the ball, you know, as we've seen with United, he can be frustrated. He can be frustrated. Now, I do partly think that was a little bit down to today that we played with a weird front three. We had Daniel James come on in the second half, and in the first half, we had Mason Greenwood there. He went off injured at half time, and I just felt there wasn't enough, there wasn't a cohesion there. It wasn't like we had a number 10 in there, because whenever Lingard got the ball, it wasn't sticking to his feet. He was losing the ball far too often. He had some great moments where he nutmegged two City players and won a free kick and all that kind of stuff. And I think, was that the one that led to the goal? I'm not too sure. But when you look at his all-round performance, what he's in there to do in that number 10 position is pick up the ball and supply the service. And he wasn't doing that enough. And that's where that frustration can build up from. And you can start to see the players and the strikers pulling out of position. But they need to maintain that position, especially when you're at somewhere like the Etihad. So I was a little bit frustrated with Martial's performance. He would say he was frustrated with the service, and that would be fair. Just like Tal says in the comments, Martial needs service. And that's absolutely fine. Martial does need service. And now the fact that we've brought in someone like Bruno Fernandes, who's in Manchester now, ladies and gentlemen. He's in Manchester now. Now that we've brought in someone like Bruno Fernandes, if we can then, you know, Pogba's taking his cast off now, I believe, and Scott McTominay's getting closer to full fitness. When we see that we're giving us them options and we're giving them the creativity. And then the likes of Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford when he returns, Mason Greenwood will have that supply and will have that supply line there. We had to do a team effort today. It had to be a team effort. We had to work hard, and it was just that. We were running down the flanks, every single one of the team. And just like Kanza says with his super chat, we can't be too upset about that result. We can't. A little bit annoyed, a little bit disappointed, that's fine. Ultimately, we have to be upset with the result at Old Trafford, because 1-0 away to City, if you would have said to me, United are going to win 1-0 in the second leg, United have just got to do the job at Old Trafford, I would have thought, we're going through. But we let ourselves down in that game at Old Trafford, and ultimately it wasn't there. But there was a lot to be positive about today. And Bruno Fernandes, if he's watching that game whilst he's doing his medical or ahead of his medical or whatever, he'd be happy with what he saw as well. And he'd also be seeing where he can provide that pass in there. Math Oratory says, did you see Ollie scream at Lingard tonight? I thought he screamed at Matic, to be honest, at the time, because I'm sure it was Matic who gave the ball away just before that. But regardless of whoever he was shouting at, I know Lingard gave the ball away a lot today as well, and he came off just after Ollie was seen saying that, so it kind of 2 + 2 = 4. But yeah, it's good to see that side of him. We all remember Sir Alex. He's going to protect you in the press, and he's going to protect you in the press room and in the journalists, where the journalists are asking him questions, and after games in interviews. He's going to protect you, but he's got to have that little bit of needle as well to get a little bit of a better performance out of you. And you also saw, if that was directed at Jesse Lingard, when Jesse Lingard eventually went off, Ollie put his arm around his shoulder and give him a pat on his head, because there was good things that Jesse did in the game. But the one thing you want your number 10 to do is get on the ball, get your head up, and get those passes off to your front two. And Greenwood and Martial didn't have enough from that from him today. Guys, get your comments and your super chats in. We'll try and read out as many as possible. I'm doing this live stream for a little bit longer, for as long as my voice and my body keeps going. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on the game today. United obviously losing. We win, but we lose. We go out 3-2 on aggregate. United will not be at Wembley despite the victory today, but I thought there was pride in defeat there. Now, Lol Ninja brings up the fact that we had 30% possession. Now, that's fine. I think you've got to expect that at the Etihad. You've got to expect that at the Etihad, because I believe, they're going to always have the possession. Ryan says, why is Full-Time Devils always digging out Pogba? What the hell are you talking about, bruv? First of all, Full-Time Devils isn't one person, first off. And second of all, I'm one of, I know Full-Time Devils isn't one person, but I'm one of the people that are regularly on Full-Time Devils. And I praise and defend Paul Pogba a lot. I criticise him when he has bad games, but I've defended him a lot. So that's an odd one, and I hate when people do that. They see a tweet from someone that's taken over the Twitter in a full-time game, or they see a quote from someone on a Fancam or on a preview or on something like that, and they're like, Full-Time Devils thinks that. No, they don't. No, they don't. It's just one person's thought who used the platform. United is a platform for many different Manchester United fans. Come on, bruh. I'm not taking the bait. I just hate stuff like that, and it's common things that always come up. So for this time, when I can, because I hate replying to tweets, but when I can reply to it, I'm going to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Tom Cushney in the comments. Pornox says, why do people bring up Pogba constantly? I agree, mate. It's quite boring. We've got about 829 people in here right now. Over that, it keeps growing. Get hitting that like button. Full-Time James, so what? It's one person's opinion. Exactly. It's Full-Time James. It's James's opinion. Come on, guys. And also, I want to have a little moan about today's game. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate it. And thank you all for the good comments. Now, I'm going to give Matic some appreciation in a bit, Shubrudget. So, I'm going to come back to that one, yeah? But why did Mata not take that free kick with about 2 minutes to go? Why did Mata not take that free kick with 2 minutes to go? Now, it's easy in hindsight. It's easy to say that after Fred smashes it into the wall. It's easy to say that. But why did Mata not take that free kick? Juan Mata is a set-piece specialist. Set-piece specialist that tucks free kicks. That's one thing he's great at. Finding that top corner. He's going to bring a save out of the goalkeeper at the very least. Why didn't he take it? I'm still baffled as to why he didn't take it. He should have took that. Annoying. Dowd Ahmed says Matic was brilliant today. I've got to say, I agree with you. I thought Nemanja Matic, if he didn't get sent off, he possibly could have got my man of the match. But I know it was I felt sorry for him because Rodri and Cancelo probably should have been booked already. They should have been booked already. Matic commits his first foul in the second, which came in the second half. It was a foul, clear foul. It was an honest challenge though. I don't think it was worthy of a booking. He books him, and then he's walking on a tightrope. He commits another foul a little bit later. The referee has a word with him, and when that foul came along, it was just obvious he was going to get sent. It was so soft as well. He barely touched him, but they were on the counter attack. It was a tactical foul. He shouldn't have got that yellow. And it's just you think maybe we could have flung a few more bodies forward, gone for it a little bit more in the last 5-10 minutes if he stayed on. But it was a very good strike from him as well. Very, very good half volley. The free kick came in. The header went across. I think it was from a City player that was trying to clear it. Half cleared free kick, and he kept his half volley down, smashed it into the ground, into the net. Beat Bravo. Fantastic strike from him. But then he just got sent off towards the end. Now that probably means he misses a league game, doesn't it? Probably misses a league game, which again is frustrating. It's obviously great that we've got Bruno Fernandes coming in. He could be making his debut on the weekend, but it's frustrating, especially when we're just trying to start to find some form. My head's absolutely pounding, by the way, but this made me feel a bit better. I genuinely thought we were going to get dicked today. Absolutely finished off. And the way they started drawing save after save from David De Gea. But then in the second half, when you think, oh, here we go. You know, they're missing chances. They're having goals disallowed by VAR and offside and all that. And you're thinking, this is going to be our day. Even when Matic went off, I kind of felt it. But then it just killed us. It absolutely killed us. Cameron simply says Bruno Fernandes. Was I the only one who saw Ollie scream one more time and you're fucking off? Says Haridas. You weren't. He really did say that, and it's good to see a little bit of that from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Sure, he'll defend the players, and rightly so, in the press and in press conferences and interviews. That's fine, but it's nothing wrong with a little bit of that from the side of the pitch to hopefully spur a reaction out of your players. It's good to see that there. Adam, remember Mata in Turin when we were 1-0 down with 3 minutes to go? Mate, Busby, I know what you mean. Mata should have been taking that free kick. If you think Mata should have took that free kick, hit that like button right about now. Get your super chats and your comments in, as Manchester United have beaten Manchester City in the derby at the Etihad, but unfortunately we go out on aggregate 3-2. Nemanja Matic's goal giving United the victory. For you guys that have joined us late and maybe didn't watch the game, he was then later sent off for 2 bookable offences in the second half. With about 15 minutes to go, he got sent off. United did grab a goal back. Sorry, we didn't grab a goal back. It was difficult for us to then get another goal. We couldn't really get another foothold in the game. There were times when we had great possession of the ball, but we're probably a little bit too guilty of overplaying it, which is understandable. It's understandable at times because you're playing against City and you kind of don't want to go too hard for the goal, lose the ball, they kill you, and you probably get drawn into doing what they do and overplaying it a little bit, and it's a frustrating one. But that frustration comes from a good performance and a good result, and there was some pride in that defeat. My man of the match, like I said, David De Gea. But there were notable performances today from Harry Maguire. Nemanja Matic, who, yes, he got sent off, but I thought it was a good performance. Fred, at times, he did lose the ball on a number of occasions, but in what he was doing and in that midfield battle, he gave us a lot. So I thought, again, it was another good performance from Fred. That midfield's going to be buzzing when they get a little bit of help in there from Bruno Fernandes and get Scott McTominay and Paul Pogba back and all that. But yeah, frustrating day, yet a positive day. And I'm sure, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be happy with that. He got a performance out of the team. We've beaten City twice. And I know he's probably going to say in his press conference, we've beaten City twice. It shows you how we can do things and probably get ridiculed for it. But it's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. We've shown what we can do in the bigger games, and that's where the frustration lies this season. That we've had this super thin squad. We've had to play a lot of these players constantly, playing all these players. None of them are really getting a rest. We're missing some key players, and it's those games that we should have been winning that we haven't won. If United lost against City and Spurs and Liverpool and that this season, but we're winning against Sheffield United and Everton and Villa, everyone will be looking at this season in a completely different perspective. We'd be saying, alright, for a season of rebuild, this isn't too bad, like, we need to get better in the bigger games, but against the smaller teams, we're getting the job done and we're getting our points on the board. But it's a flip reverse almost, and whilst our performances against those lesser teams, despite that defeat against Burnley recently, has been a little bit better when you look at the Brighton and Norwich performances and so on, it's been those games that have let us down throughout the course of the season, and where a lot of the frustration is built up from, I believe. We've now hit 1,000 people watching this stream. Make sure you're hitting that damn like button. Make sure you're commenting and sharing. If you're seeing me here and thinking, Mac, what are you doing here at home? What are you doing at home? Don't worry, don't you panic. We've got Fancams coming from the Etihad. Now, I don't really know how they're going to be, because I don't really know how I feel about this one. We've won, but we've lost. There's a little bit of pride in defeat, but ultimately we're not going to Wembley. And there's a bit of disappointment in the fact that we didn't get that goal, but then there's a bit of positivity in the fact that I didn't even give us a chance to win this game, and we won it. And I'm sure a lot of you were like that as well. So absolutely incredible. United win but lose. There was pride in defeat. Get your comments in. I want to hear what you guys are saying, because remember, this is your channel as well. Full Time Devils is your channel. You're going to hear from fans at the Etihad. You're hearing from me right now, but I want to hear from you. So get your comments in the comments and save me from myself, because I've got this light in my eyes. It's banging my head off. I'm achy, shaky, and I need a little bit of help. So come on. Adam Hussein says McTominay, Pogba and Bruno would be a good midfield. Phil Pride after that. They played for the shirt, says Mark. Joe says, why didn't Mata take that free kick? I believe. So, mate, I bang on, agree with you. We can do the FA Cup. Don't worry, bro, says Habiba, in the comments. A moral victory. I hate moral victories, Jordan. But sure, it's bittersweet, Nawaz. Bang on. Why did... I don't even know what that comment is. I see it says sexaholics in there. I don't know how you can get sexaholics into a comment about Fred and Mata taking a free kick. But you went and did it, Busby. You absolute mentalist. What is going on there? Guys, if you want a brief update on Bruno Fernandes, he has been pictured in Manchester, having landed next to the private jet. He's been pictured with his family, agent and co as they've arrived in Manchester. I'm not sure whether he's doing his medical tonight with a view to completing the move tomorrow, or he's doing all that stuff tomorrow. But, little bit of positivity on the horizon as well, with us having signed a player that we truly needed. Now I can complain and say, wow, took your time. I can complain and say, wow, we needed him in the summer. I can complain and say, wow, our squad's a bit mash up. But I can't complain at the fact that Bruno Fernandes is coming to Manchester United, because he looks like a fantastic player. Now there's part of me, with these number 10s, with these attacking players, that worries, are they going to be like Mkhitaryan or like Kagawa and not quite cut it in the Premier League? But Bruno Fernandes is pure numbers alone are incredible. His performances for Sporting Lisbon, where he's been the talisman for them, where they've looked at him as the main man, and giving him the ball every time. Now we're obviously going to be heavily reliant on him without Pogba, without McTominay, and without that midfield, but you'd like to think we're not going to be as reliant on him as Sporting were. So as he's going to be functioning as part of a team, I don't expect his numbers, his goals or assists to be, maybe his assists will be higher than his goals when he comes to Man United, because we're going to expect, you know, Rashford and Martial to be the ones scoring the goals. But yeah, that's just, you know, I can't wait to get him in that team. 70k per week, says IA. Playing for the badge. Well, he's playing for 70k per week. It's still, in this day and age, it's not a great amount of money, innit? It's not a great amount of money. Go on your channel, you're meant to be live now. That is true indeed, but we'll keep this one rolling for a little bit longer, and then we will be heading over to my YouTube channel, where I'll do player ratings. I've got them ready for you, and we'll do more post-match reaction. But like I said, get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing to Full Time Devils. I appreciate every last single one of you. We will be live when Bruno Fernandes is confirmed as a Manchester United player. Knowing United, the medical probably won't go up to plan and all that, but touch wood, I'll be live when we confirm Bruno Fernandes is officially a Manchester United player. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into Full Time Devils. Thank you for listening to my ill ass go on about the game that we've just seen. There was pride in defeat, but ultimately United win but lose, and we're not going to Wembley at all in the League Cup. Could still go there in the FA Cup, but still a long way to go in that one. Thank you for watching Full Time Devils. Keep it locked. Make sure you're hitting that notification button and subscribe if you haven't already, because FANCAMS are on their way. But for now, I'm out of here.